Welcome to Math TV with Professor V. In this video, we're going to go over how to complete the square. This is something that you usually learn in algebra, but I often have to remind my calculus students how to do it. So let's go over it right now. When you complete the square, what that basically means is you create a perfect square trinomial. What's that? Well, a perfect square trinomial has the form a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. That's one option. And that means it can be factored into a plus b quantity squared. Other kind of perfect square trinomial, only difference is the middle term has a minus sign on it, so you would factor it into a minus b quantity squared. This is useful in a lot of circumstances, like if you need to find the center of a circle, if you need to find center of an ellipse or a hyperbola. You also will use it in calculus. Sometimes when you're integrating underneath the radical, you'll need to complete the square so you can do a trig sum, all sorts of situations. So let's look first at an example of a perfect square trinomial, and then we'll see how to play around with ones that aren't to make them such, okay? So if you had, for example, x squared minus 6x plus 9, that is a perfect square trinomial because it fits this pattern, in particular this one, a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. I can factor it into x minus 3 quantity squared. So x is a, b is 3. What if you didn't have that fully written out? Say you just had, for example, you're told to complete the square. You have x squared minus 10x. Now tell me what needs to go in the blank for this to be a perfect square trinomial. Well, what you do is you take the coefficient of the linear term. So you take the coefficient on x, divide it by 2, and then square it. And that's the constant that you need to add. So you would take negative 10 divided by 2, square it. That goes here. So that's going to be negative 5 squared. We're going to have 25. And then, you know, no point knowing that you need to add 25 if you can't factor this sucker. So it's going to be some quantity squared. We'll have x. Whatever sign is in front of the middle term goes right here. And then this is half of the coefficient of the linear term. Whatever this was before you squared it. Or the square root of this. 3 different ways to think about it. This is going to be a 5. Okay, should we do another? Yeah, why not? Complete the square for this one. Say we have x squared plus 3x. It's always going to be plus because you're squaring it, right? So take the coefficient of the linear term, divide it by 2, and square it. Now when you square a fraction, you square the numerator, square the denominator. So I'm going to add 9 over 4. Good. Please factor it now. So we're going to have x plus or minus? Plus, right? Always keep the sign that's in front of the term in the middle. And then 3 halves quantity squared. Where did I get 3 halves? Cut this in half. Or you could think, after you cut it in half, there it is, before you squared it, or square root of this. All right, let's do one more, and then I'll show you an application that we just did in pre-calc the other day, okay? So say you have x squared minus x plus what? So the coefficient here is just a negative 1. Divide it by 2 and square it, what do we get? Positive 1 over 4. Okay, good. And then now let's factor, so this is going to factor into x. What comes next, plus or minus? Minus 1/2 squared. And we're done, okay? So I did mention that you can use this to find like the center of a circle or things like that. So let me show you right now really quickly. If you were given the equation of a circle and it was all multiplied out and it wasn't written so that you could identify the center quickly, when you complete the square, it lets you see it right away. Okay, so here we go. Here's the example. Find the center and radius. So we have x squared plus y squared minus 10x plus 2y equals 10. So I'm going to complete the square for both x and y. Basically, we're going to find the center and radius. If you haven't done this yet, and you're just in algebra, then this is a sneak preview. Don't worry, okay? Or if you're in calculus, you might need to do this later on if you're going to do spheres and stuff. Okay, what I'm going to do first, since I have to complete the square for x and y, is I'll separate my variables out. So we've got x squared minus 10x plus something to complete the square there. Plus, then I've got y squared plus 2y plus something equals 10. See how I've regrouped things? Okay. Then from here, let's complete the square for both x and y. So divide this coefficient by 2. It's going to be -5. I did it in my head. It'll be -5. And then when I square it, that's a 25. If I add 25 to one side of the equation, I have to add it to the other side. And then here, what would go to complete the square? So 2 divided by 2 squared, what's that? Just a 1, right? Oh, how sweet. Okay, and then now let's factor. So x squared minus 10x plus 25, that's gonna factor into x plus or minus 5 squared plus, what will this be? Y plus 1 squared equals 10 plus 25 plus 1. I know. Someone who wrote this problem loves us very much. They give us such nice numbers. So I'll link the lecture here if you're interested on studying circles more. But basically the center is at 5, -1, and the radius is 6. I didn't explain how to see that from here, but having the square completed is essential to identifying the center and the radius. Okay, hope you found that video helpful. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. I've got plenty of videos on pre-calc, algebra, calc 1, 2, 3. Hit that notifications bell so you're notified every time I upload, and I'll see you guys soon.